to the Unchill podcast. Hello, welcome to the Unchill podcast. I have my really good friend Chris Rushing here with me.
Hey, Brett.
And the way to introduce him is so many. He says he's a fitness trainer, but it's so much more than that. You're a speaker, and you are just the most loving person I've ever met. And
well, thank you.
The greatest
thank you.
father.
Oh,
I see you guys gotta check out his content about his girls. They're the cutest.
They're everything. And it's nothing I do. They do their own stunts. They're just two beautiful souls that I feel blessed to have been chosen by to help them navigate life. It's incredible. I mean, the things that I record a lot of most of the things that we do for memory. So we can go back and remember when you were that age, remember what we did, remember what that felt like, remember what we saw. But I feel infinitely blessed because they chose me to be on this journey with them, and it's everything. It's changed me. I was saying, as a man, as a partner, even in romantic relationships, you start to see things much differently when you see these two little girls who will be women, and their futures. How you will have a lot of impact on them based on the man that you are, right? Because they're going to grow up looking first of all, looking to fill any voids that they have. But secondly, respecting themselves in a way they've been shown. So they're not going to be, with me anyways, I'm not going to just release these two girls out with all of my own insecurities and all my problems. No, those go away because now I have a new goal. I have a new job in this life, and that's to make them secure and have their own self-respect, So.
When parenting, how do you do that? Like, what type of lessons do you want to teach them? Because it's like, it's so hard.
It's not.
It's not hard. Okay.
You know why it's not? Okay. Is because if we can live wide awake, if we can step back and pull ourselves out of the equation, and we can remember what it felt like to be a child, to observe other people, to look around at what works and what doesn't, and then do the exact opposite. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I've been around long enough where I've seen people go from children to adults carrying all of this stuff with them, and then a lot of times communicating or not communicating about how they got there and what those things are, but they're holding on to them. So if I can help these little versions of my daughters avoid those things so they don't have them when they're older, then I'm doing my job. And so a lot of times the mistakes that parents make is they separate themselves. They put themselves up here. I'm the parent. This is the child. And they're either very surface or they haven't dealt with their own insecurities and their own issues, and they're applying them to the next generation, just like their first generation applied them to them. And so this cycle of nonsense continues, and we button it up and we put nice clothes on everybody, and then everyone gets up to this place where they're adults and they're supposed to know how to walk through life, and they've just carried the cycle on. So for me, having a very dysfunctional childhood, I took a step back and said, there is no way I am going to be putting all my stuff on my kids. The cycle stops with me. And it's so in that respect, it's very simple. It's very simple to look at the blessings of life and forget about the stuff that doesn't matter. Not give any power to that.
I remember one time you told me that you let your daughter see you cry, and it's crazy. I've only seen my dad cry twice in my entire life. The first time was when I got really drunk and he had to pick me up. I was 18 years old and my dad was ready to kill me. And he was like, your life is over. And the second time was when I had a panic attack, twice in my life. Yeah. And so I never saw men cry. Like it's when I do see it, I'm like, I'm so uncomfortable because I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
And so for you to be like comfortable crying in front of your daughters is so healing for that, because it's like, oh, this is a normal characteristic. And even in my household, like crying was a thing. Like my dad would be like, you're messing up your makeup, stop crying. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're gonna look really ugly crying. And so I was never able to express my emotions because it was not allowed. And so now we went through the whole, like me and my sister went through our whole life being like, we're just gonna like act like we're okay all the freaking time.
And everyone does that.
Yeah.
Everyone does that, and that leads to problems because then because where does that emotion go? Where do those emotions go if you can't let them out? they turn into medicating, right? And then they come out harder. Say we go drinking, so we're gonna. People when they feel something, they say, "Oh, I need a drink."
Exactly.
You don't.
Yeah.
You need to turn and face what's going on. It's listen. I've always been an emotional person, and I thought it was weird when I was younger that I was so emotional. Now I embrace it. When I go to church with them, and I feel the power in there, and I see the changes, and I see these people that are just letting things go, and you can definitely feel the spirituality in there, and it affects me. And my daughter looks up at me and had tears in my eyes. I'm showing her that yes, feel. Don't hold it in. Don't have to get down the road and do something with it, medicate it, because I did that for sure. I was very excessive with my drinking and then drugging and self-loathing. And mostly because I had no one I could trust my emotions with. I had no one to go to. So now they do. They do. I want to know everything. And they're my friend. Yes, I guide them, but I listen to them like distinctly. I observe them and I let them be free. My older daughter, Tiger Lily, just had her 9th birthday.
Oh.
And her younger sister, Lulu Bell, was feeling kind of a certain kind of way. And I saw it. I noticed it. She was being aggressive and not being kind. And I say, "Hey, come over here for a second." I go, "What's going on? What are you feeling?" And I could see her change. And she goes, "Daddy," "I'm feeling jealous. I'm feeling jealous because it's Tiger Lily's birthday." And I go, "I understand that. I understand that." I said, "You know what you do in a family? Because this is Tiger Lily's day. We support each other. We should be really happy that Tiger Lily's going through this because your birthday's coming too, and then it's going to be your day." And she said, "Yeah." And she said, "She said, I'm ashamed of feeling that." I go, "No, don't be ashamed of that. Look how we just talked about it, And if you can have these little micro moments as often as possible and help them navigate their emotions, then they're also going to trust in you when the harder stuff comes down the road with boys and, and all these things. Yeah. And speaking of boys, people have told me, "Oh, you have girls. Watch out." Watch out for what? Yeah. The only reason a man would have to watch out when they have daughters is because they're applying their own ego to it. Yes, they're going to make mistakes. Yes, they're going to make decisions that they regret. And I'm here for it. You don't have to hide. You don't have to run from it. You don't have to change. You come back to daddy, and I'll hold you, and I'll pick you up. And I'll say, "Okay, you don't have to tell me everything, but know that I'm here. And this is what I know about the situation."
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because I was there. I've been there. Yeah. I've been there. And it's tough. We navigate life. We don't know what the hell we're doing until we do. You have to go through things. I'm not worried at all. Man, come on. Let's go. Let's live. And so you can come to me. I'm your dad. Yeah. I didn't have a dad to come to. I became the man I needed, right? And I'm aware of that. So it's very powerful.
That's amazing. I was just thinking, I was like, I don't think I even knew the word jealousy at that young age. To be able to express your emotions, be like, "This is how I'm feeling." Like, I think I learned that like recently. Like, this is what I'm feeling. Because
real.
Because it goes through anger. It goes through something else where we cover it up being like, until I was like, wait, this is my problem. These are the layers that I've kind of been hiding. And it's so funny because I was like, I've also done like the drinking to like not feel stuff.
Numb.
Until I became, this like year, I became so real with myself. I was like, let's look at the ugly because it's catching up to me real quick. There's parts of me, and I got into like this like situationship or whatever recently. And when you're involved with another person, they're mirroring your feelings. They're mirroring all the bad parts of you. And I was like talking to my therapist, I was like, I need to like, this shit's getting real for me. This is triggering me. I need to like look in within myself. And I think looking at partners or friends as a mirror is so helpful because a lot of the times I was doing my healing on my own, but there's still so much triggers that I don't even know. And then another person saying something, I'm like, oh my God, this hurts. Because a part of me believes it. A part of me believes these like terrible qualities that I might have. Like someone said to me, I'm like, "Oh, you don't really know what you're doing with your life." The person said
that? Oh, this person.
This person said this. You don't really know. And me being very spiritual and like this has all been very new to me. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, and it hurt. And I was thinking about it for a long time. Like, what do you mean I don't know what I'm doing with my life? And it got to me until I was like, there's layers to this.
Also, do you trust this person's input? Do you trust yourself being vulnerable with this person? Otherwise, it doesn't matter what they say.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, we stopped talking after. It ended up pretty bad.
But it resonated with you. It resonated with you.
It's also where it's like, oh, I don't have to keep explaining myself to people. As someone who used to do that, like a lot of times, like, no, please like me, like I need you to follow my path. I need you to understand me, like constantly explaining myself, like, well, this is what I'm gonna do. And you don't have to like it. You don't have to understand it. I'm still gonna do it because this feels something that I want to do. And I never had that in my life before because my parents kind of dictated my life for me. Until recently, my parents were like, you know what? Hands off. You go do your thing. Let's see what happens. And when you are able to do that with confidence, be like, I got myself, how freaking powerful is that?
Yeah, it's liberating.
It's so liberating.
But it's also liberating for your parents.
Yeah, I mean, whatever I'm thinking of doing, they're like, I was having a conversation with my mom. They're like, my mom's like, you're just like your grandma. And my grandma died was in an orphanage and died. Like she like volunteered her whole life and was just there and was very like spiritual.
In India?
In India. She was like so spiritual and just like gave her life to other people. And she goes, you're just like your grandma.
Wow, what an observation though.
And for me, I was just like that's a bit, because my grandma was like the sweetest person in the world, like just like so loving, just like always care about other people. And for your parents to be like, none of this all their bullcrap matters. Like
it's all in figuring yourself out. It's all just stuff you go through while you figure yourself out.
Right?
Yeah.
And then
this much time. It's only this much time. You have the whole rest of your life. These uncertain times. I don't mean to cut you off, but these uncertain times, you decide how much power you're going to give them. They're just a lesson. They're just a lesson. They don't hurt really because you can't go back to it, right? It doesn't really exist. Even this conversation with this person in the situationship, it was a moment in time. You take from it what you want, and it's like a bubble and a feather. Yeah. Pop, and you move on. Honestly.
But I saw this. It's so funny because I see people in my life. I'm like, oh, he was just there to make me do like the course I'm doing. It got me to do that because I was like, I believed in myself so much after this whole thing with him. I'm like, no, I need to do this. I don't want to live your life. I don't want to live the way you live. I don't want to think the way you live. And I'm like, I'm going. And that's how everything's happening so quickly because of that. Good. Because he was just that catalyst. And when I see people like that, like people are supposed to piss you off so much to do the other thing that you're meant to do. And that's all he was. He just pissed me off really badly to be like, you know what? F you. I'm going to be out.
So, you know what I call that? And I had to come to this realization myself because somebody did something very... I mean, if I wanted to sit in it and play the victim, it was probably the most grimy thing anyone ever did to me. But what it did was it, like you, propelled me to start following my purpose and allow myself to grow. And what she did was she fulfilled her soul contract. If you can look at these people periodically through your life and what the interaction was, what you learned and grew from that, you fulfilled your soul contract. Thank you very much. I have no bad feelings towards you at all. Me experiencing you in my life brought me to here, which brought me to this person who might have fulfilled their soul contract and brought me to here. So it's all part of the process, all part of the journey. And now look what you're doing. You're evolving. You're taking on, I just saw on our thread, you're going for 2 years to California to do this spiritual journey. How incredible, you know? That's a much higher power that puts these people in our path. It says, you need a little push. You need a little push.
But it also, I love what you said, it comes from forgiveness too. Because in the beginning, I had so much anger and be like, actually, you're such a blessing. But that's all you are. You don't have to be a part of this next chapter. That's you, like what you said.
That's
your contract is done.
Yes. Thank you very much.
And like I served my purpose for you and whatever I needed to do for you. Maybe I mirrored in a certain way for you, but it's done. And when I see it that way, it's just like we're everything's for a reason. Everything, and I couldn't be angry because I'm not angry. Like, I don't have hate for people because I'm like, that's just not who I am. And when I am hateful, it hurts. Like, when I do hate someone, it hurts me more than it hurts the other person.
That person doesn't even know. You're just carrying it. You're like, And
I'm like, I'm angry with everybody now. And I'm like, I hate everyone.
Bad feeling.
And then when you just let it go, you're like, wow, I have so much love for him. I'm like, oh my God, like, thank you. Like, thank you for doing that for me. And now we're done.
That's awesome. It's a very evolved way to look at things. Good for you.
Thank you. And probably for the same person who kind of like hurt you in that way to make you do like lead into your passion. How did you know what your passion was or what your purpose was after the conversation with that person?
I knew before what my purpose was, but I was living a lie.
Yeah.
How can I coach people and guide people to live optimally if part of my life isn't honest? If I'm portraying a certain life, I'm portraying this very loving and happy life, and it wasn't true. So God stepped in and said, "You're not making decisions fast enough. So I'm going to give you a really big lesson that you don't know you're going to survive, but you will." I didn't know at the time, and that's going to be the catalyst to an accelerated growth for you. And at the time when this situation was created by someone other than me, all I could think was, how could this person do this to me? And I was devastated. You think all these crazy thoughts about your own mortality. Like, do you want to be here? Because you're so gutted. How could this person get this close to me to do these things, or to do this thing that changed my life so dramatically? And then when things like that happen, God also puts in your path the tools to deal with it. I found a therapist who was a behavioral recognition specialist, and I came in and I'm like, they did this to me. I want to be the victim. And he goes, no. What did you do to get here? We're never blindsided by something because we always see it coming. We choose whether or not to face it or not. So when it happened, I wanted to be the victim. I wanted to blame. I wanted to scream. It's all their fault, And when he wouldn't allow that, when he forced me to look at myself, I was like, oh, that set a pattern of looking at things and looking at myself and the decisions I made and the habits and patterns I had that didn't serve me, so that I could weed them out and start really living optimally. So the lesson was in the pain. The lesson was in the situation. Only I didn't have faith in that, because you can't see clearly when you're in it, right? Only when you get past it. And so I wanted to hate this person. I couldn't believe it. I was devastated. How could they do this to me? All these things. Until I realized that she did exactly what she was supposed to do, to make my life honest, to make myself, to make my life better, so that I could really, truly, start living in my purpose to help a world that's on fire, to help people heal based on my experiences. I couldn't do it from that position, sitting at my desk going, how do I do this when I'm in a situation that I'm lying and it's poisonous and toxic and all these things? And it's a beautiful, beautiful journey, because you come from a place where I thought it'd be easier if I went for a hike, fell off the backside of a mountain, and made it look like an accident so my daughters could have my life insurance, because that's how gutted I was at the time.
Yeah.
Because you don't see the power of what's happening. All you see is the pain while you're in it and you're alone. And then you go through a terrible period of isolation where, and I've talked about this before, where you start to lose something human in you, right? Because you're alone all the time. This doesn't feel right. This is not normal to spend this much time by yourself, not realizing that this is God saying, you're going to look at everything and you're going to deal with this right now, and it's painful, and you got to lean into it. And then what's dying in you is this need to fill space, this need to put someone in there just because you're lonely, which is what we do. We know this is not right. We know this person's not right for us, but we're going to give it a chance anyways, rather than be lonely. And then you get to a place where you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because I love me now, because I spent enough time going in. And then you're free. You're so free. So when I got to the other side of this, I realized that's when the term soul contract came to me. I'm like, all she did was fulfill her soul contract. What a blessing. And then almost 4 years later, last week I had a dream about the two of us, her and I. Only we were children. And the little boy I am met the little girl as she is, and it was before the world got a hold of us. I saw the little girl from the perspective of the little boy who we were just kids before the world affected us, and I forgave and I connected and I let go. And it was really powerful. It was very powerful. And so That's why life is so amazing, because we think that it's the end when we go through these scenarios, but it's not. It's just to make us better at any age. You're going through something now. I'm so excited for you because you're searching. We've talked about these things before. You've done a lot of things. You're like, why did I do that looking back? And it was just to make you grow. There's no shame. There's no judgment. There's no anything, because you have breath in your lungs and blood in your veins, and you're going wherever you're going. These places that we go through, they're only meant for us to grow, and they don't exist anymore. So you can't oh God, that hurts. No, it doesn't. It doesn't exist anymore. You can't go back to that amazing time where you were at a family reunion when you were a kid and you had so much fun either. You can't go back. It's in your memory. So we can choose what we want to remember, those good things, right? We don't have to let the bad stuff affect us anymore, especially when most of the time, they were just put in our path to make us better. I couldn't imagine the life I'm living now from where I was before. I couldn't imagine that it was so happy. That I would meet people, connect with people, and be truly myself, not with all the baggage of a rough childhood, not with all the baggage of self-loathing that was created by someone else, not myself, not all the baggage of an excessive lifestyle where I didn't feel worthy, So what happened was, with all of those lessons, with all of that pain, it was all orchestrated for me to now be at this place where this final chapter where this woman fulfilled her soul contract to propel me to where I am now. I look back and go, it all makes sense, because now I can relate with people from all different backgrounds. If you grew up in poverty, if you grew up and you were self-loathing, you were making decisions for your life based on somebody that you didn't like, that someone else created, someone else created, who didn't like themselves. Mm-hmm. If you went through an excessive time where you were drinking too much, you started doing drugs, you were, choosing relationships that didn't serve you based on who you were, how you were feeling. I can relate with people that go through that, the excessiveness, I can relate with the pain that women go through, because I'm an observer, I'm a dad, I'm a man who's always observed, who respects women, and always had that self-respect about that, where I also thought I was way too good to ever sell myself out like that. So I never sold myself out. And I was always clear in that capacity where I saw people clearly. I saw their pain clearly. So now I can relate with so many different levels. People can look at me and say, well, you don't look like me. How can you understand me? Well, I can tell you why, because I've gone through a lot of these things. I didn't learn this from a book, and so that's why I think I resonate with people so much. Okay.
I was just thinking about your dream. It feels like it's a bow tie to end it, with so much love. I feel like that was just most healing dream you could have.
You talked about how heavy it is to carry hate, right? And I carried it for a while, and I don't anymore. And so if we can do that, that's one of those most beautiful things, is to look at someone. First of all, you're talking about your situationship, and you're mirroring each other. Not only you're mirroring each other, two broken kids are coming together. Two little people that have collected all of these things through life are now in a situation where they're absorbing each other's stuff and exchanging, and you're dealing with each other's insecurities and and all these things. And when you can look at this person like that from a kid's point of view and see the kid, it's much different when you could also look at someone like you said, and this is something I believe in and I always say, you may just be a sentence in my book. You may be a chapter, you may be a paragraph, you may be a couple chapters, but whatever it is, I feel so blessed that that you've chosen and I've chosen to share each other right now, right? Not the nonsense, because everyone brings nonsense, but when you can communicate and see each other clearly, allow yourself to see each other clearly, that's when it's beautiful, even if it's just like a snap in time, a moment in time.
100%, yeah.
And what happened? This person propelled you to make some decisions.
I mean, what you were saying is I needed the push, because when I think about my life, it's there's so many things. I feel like this whole word of things are I'm stuck, I don't know what I'm doing, is so BS. What I've realized, because we all know what we want to do. I always wanted to do whatever, the podcast or spiritual. I've always known this from when I was a little girl.
Yeah.
But everyone told me that's wrong. This is not what you should be doing. You should be doing something different. So I always thought, oh, I'm stuck. I don't feel safe. I don't think I know what I'm doing. But this is all so many lies. Because I see people when they're like much older than me be like, I've always known this. I finally have courage to do this, what I've always known I wanted to do. And
That's
I'm
crazy.
like, right? It's so crazy. It's like so stupid too.
It's real, but everyone does that. Everyone goes through that. Everyone goes through that.
It's like I've always wanted to do these things. I was just too afraid to do it. So even the course I'm doing, I always told myself I'll do it in October. I was like, I'll do it in October. I'll figure the summer out. I'll have my fun. I'll do whatever I want to do. Just because I was so scared to do it. And then this person came to my life and it was like, triggered the hell out of me. I was like, freak, I need to get my life together. And it went from October to now August. Because I was like, panic mode, like researching, like I need to go full force. And how incredible is that? Because it also is something that's like I'm trusting myself that this is the right decision. Like the fact that it actually pushed forward, it's like, oh, let me do this. And so it's so funny. It's so funny because I'm telling people, and they're like, where did this California come from? What are you doing? And I'm like, hey, you just gotta trust yourself and you just gotta go. It's like it's literally like, what if I don't do it now? What am I going to do it?
You don't even have to ask that question anymore. You came full circle. There's a song that for about a year and a half, I would start my day with my meditation. We got to talk about that.
Yeah.
I started every morning, and it's by an Eastern singer, and Snatam Kapoor, I think is her name. And the song is called Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. And essentially it means trust the teacher inside of you. So you knew it all along. The doubt wasn't yours. The doubt was other people's. And so many times people tell you can't do that or that's crazy because they don't trust themselves. So stop listening to people. I'm serious. Like I only listen to people. I only care about what their input or what their judgment is if I already respect them. And if I already respect them, that means that their input, their criticism, or their guidance is going to be a little more kind, right? And sincere. We go through a period of, first of all, being children, where we are not afraid to play King of the Hill and jump up, beat our chest and scream and jump and roll and play with animals and pick flowers, and we become best friends on the playground, even if it's for one day, and we are free. Only until adults put their adult sensibilities on us do we start to doubt ourselves. We don't know shame. What do you mean that's wrong what I'm doing? This is what I feel, right? And that's called your domestication. And slowly we lose that childhood sensitivity, that childhood naivety, and innocence. And that sets a cycle where we just get in line. We're like robots, whether we feel that we are looked at way anyway. We become robots because everyone's afraid now. Everyone is afraid of judgment. We even dress the way everyone else does. We're afraid of being an individual, right? People are gonna like this, but this is something that I've observed. I will never own On Cloud shoes. On Cloud. And this is why. When they first came out, I asked somebody, I was like, wow, are those the best shoes that you've ever had? He said, no, they're okay. I'm like, then why do you have them?
Yeah.
And I realized that people buy things, brands, because that person has them and that person has them. Oh, really? Well, then you must really respect them and their judgment and where they're going, right? No, not really, because I want to fit in. Yeah. You won't ever see me wearing someone else's label. I won't do it. Yeah. I won't do it. And I'm because I'm stubborn. You know what I'm saying? But I refuse to get in line. But I've been there where I had to have everything in line. And I lost myself. We lose ourselves. And then we start to doubt. You knew all along what you wanted to do, and now you're doing it. You know what I mean? You had to take a little, but we all do. Yeah. It took me this long to be like, whoo, life is amazing. And every morning I get up really early so I can start to experience it. I don't have a bad day. I never have a bad day. Because I get up and I decide, So it's this process of us all getting in line where we lose ourselves. And it starts out being that kid who's on a plane, stands up in a seat, turns around and goes, hey, how you doing? And the parent goes, oh my God, I'm embarrassed, sit down. There was nothing wrong with that at all. He was being a human. He was being, he's being a child. Let them. Part of the key to my success to being a father is letting them be kids. My Lulubelle would do something, spill something, stain something. Daddy, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, don't be sorry. Go be a kid. Be a kid, and then I'll spill something. You know what I mean? I'm like, be a kid. Yeah. I want them to be a kid for as long as they can because that's real. It's raw, Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, that's a huge lesson, but trust the teacher inside of you. Who cares? Here's another thing too. When we make decisions, they're our own. When other people judge us, where are they at the end of the day when everything is quiet and you're sitting there and you're either suffering from the decisions or you're searching? Where are they then? You know, their input doesn't matter then, right? When we're suffering alone, why don't we make decisions based on what we know is good for us?
That's so true.
You know?
I was just thinking about, I'm sure you want to do what you're doing right now since you're little too. Speaking.
I've always, it's been a little crazy because I went through a lot of I've lived a million lives, as you know. There was a time where I was in Marine Corps boot camp. And it was third phase, and so we're almost Marines. You know, we got through all. And I went in there as a very insecure person. Never thought I'd become a Marine. I'm going to snap my ankle. I'm not going to qualify with the rifle. Something's going to happen. Marines are big, tough guys with big names, not Chris Rushing from small town northern Michigan. And as it got closer, and all of a sudden I became squallier, I'm like, wait a second, there's something to this. There was a time when in third phase they would let us have an hour, and we'd either go to Protestant service or Catholic service. I wasn't religious. I grew up in the church, but saw bad examples. I was like, this is not for me. You know, this is not something I believe in. But I went to the service, and me and my friend are screwing around because we haven't been able to screw around for almost 3 months. And the chaplain asked everyone to open their hymnals, and they started to. He called out a song, and we still weren't paying attention. And then all of a sudden, everyone started singing. You can picture a few hundred Marine recruits singing in harmony. And I remember the song. And you don't have to be spiritual, you don't have to be religious to appreciate this. These young men from all different backgrounds started singing, "In my life, Lord, be glorified." It was so powerful that I knew I had a connection with God. I knew. Because it affected me so much. The power of these guys singing in harmony, being able to let off steam, being able to come together, and observing that was so powerful. In my life, Lord, be glorified today. And I'm still not a religious person. I have a relationship with God, and there's a lot of there's factions of every organized religion that are bad that people have an agenda with, but I knew I had a calling that was much bigger because I wasn't like other people. I was not afraid to feel. I wasn't afraid to feel emotions. I went home on leave in my dress blues, and this stranger came up to me after I went to church with my mom, and this stranger came up to me after. She goes, "I hope you don't think I'm crazy, but while we were praying, God came to me and He talked to me, and He said, this guy right here is going to help many people heal. And he's going to bring many people to God." It's the first time I've told anybody this. And I nodded to her and I said, "Well, thank you for sharing that with me." And I went on my way. And it's crazy because all those times I thought I was alone. And I screamed at the sky. I would scream, "Motherfucker, take me," because if there's winners and there's losers. And if I was chosen to be a loser, that's okay. But I don't need to do this anymore. And I think now that there is, you can call it whatever you will. You can pick your own version of it. There's a higher power that we're not born for no reason. There's a higher power. And I believe that when we're struggling, his, hers, whatever, heart is breaking because he knows where we're going. Like a parent, like me with my daughters, right? And you get to the other side and it makes sense. And so if I was to tell anybody anything who's struggling, who's younger than me, you have to keep walking. You have to keep walking because there were so many times I wanted to throw in the towel. I wanted to give up. It made more sense. I'm in pain. Why was I chosen for pain? I was chosen for pain so that I could relate with people who are going through pain. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that is why I am who I am now. I had to go through everything I went through so I could be here. And I still throw my hands up in the air and say, I don't know what I'm doing, and I could use some help. But now the difference is I'm making an impact in people's lives. So with you, whatever your calling is, whatever your power is, this is not random. You and I meeting is not random. The lessons that you've collected, the mistakes you think you've made, none of that is random, because you are on your way to being a powerful, powerful being, a powerful person. So don't doubt yourself. Take a look at when things are going wrong. Take a look at the decisions that you're making while things are going wrong, because we have free will, right? We have free will. God can say, I don't care if me saying God makes people feel uncomfortable. I don't care. That's nonsense. Yeah. That's your own insecurity, right? God can say, I'm going to give you some options. Everything cool I've ever done in my life, God said, here is the opportunity. You decide whether or not to take it. Here's a night where you can go out drinking. You decide how drunk you're going to get. You decide if you're going to do that or if you're going to stay home and work on your thing. Modeling came up for me. God was like, here's an opportunity. You want to do it? And I'm like, yeah, let's go on. Let's do this. The Marine Corps. Here's an opportunity. Do you want to do this, or you want to stay back in this small town and not make anything in your life? I want to do that. All of the things. And even when I was excessive in partying, I had no one to blame. We have no one to blame. You have options. You have free will. Yeah. Relationships, hookups, whatever it is, you have free will. You know, are you making decisions based on what's best for you? Yeah.
What is opportunities or decisions are you making right now that you're like, tell me what's happening in your life right now. Like, oh, I can go this route. I can do this. I can, like, let's, because it's been a while since we chatted.
Okay. I'm going through a big struggle because when you and I first met, I told you about this. I was having a lot of issues physically.
It was the mold and
I thought it was mold.
Oh, okay. So tell me what.
So I've always been able to lean on my physicality. You know, like challenge me. Let's go. You know, you want to climb this mountain, I'll beat you. You know what I mean? You want to box? You want to do anything? You want to do a hit class? You want to do anything? I'll go. I can lean into that, right? Because that was something I committed to. As a skinny kid who got bullied, I'm like, no one's taking anything from me, right? So I had that. Then I had a meditation where I was really into it, and I thought for a moment, I'm like, could I keep this same positive perspective if my power was taken away? And then I shuddered. I'm like, no, I don't want to go there. I don't ever go there, because I can't imagine that. And then not long after that, I was boxing with one of my clients, and my head was so foggy. It was like being in a rainstorm. I almost had to stop. I was like, what is happening? And I became very lethargic, very fatigued, so much brain fog I couldn't think straight. So my life went from scheduling in between clients and coaching clients, workouts and things like that, to scheduling naps, because I was a wreck. When I first met you, and we were doing, we did the speaker school, and then we did the one here in Stanford. Everyone was looking at their monologues or their keynotes and stuff, and I couldn't. There was no way I could even soak it. I couldn't even absorb it. And I went to Brandon and I said, Brandon, I don't know what I'm doing. I forgot every word of my speech. And he goes, I don't know what to tell you, man. You just got to get up there. And then I text this feisty little Puerto Rican woman who I do spiritual work with. I go, Rose, I forgot everything. What am I supposed to do? She said 3 words to me. She just, there was a pause in the other line. She goes, bring your warrior. And I went, woo-hoo! And I went up there and I killed it.
Yeah, it was so good.
You know what I'm saying?
It was so good.
So I'm going through a test right now, because that was almost a year ago. Everything I've done through this last year has been through a fog, through a physical and mental fog. I just did a test where it tested your stool, it tested your bacteria in your gut and everything, and I realized I have parasites.
Oh, God, okay.
And they're killing me. And this bacteria in me is the bad bacteria outweighs the good, and so I'm still struggling with it. I went through a cleanse, and now I have to completely change my diet. And it's a test. It's just another test. I can be like, oh, God, I'm done. I'm done, But I've been through enough tests to realize that on the other side of this, I'm going to know about it, so then I can help people that are going through it. I can't say, let's go, if they're going through something I don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, this helps you. You're a fitness trainer. Like, now you have more knowledge to help other people.
So, and it's also very exciting, because not only am I doing that and being tested, and I have to, again, I have free will. You going to eat that pizza and ice cream with your daughters, or are you going to say, nope? Yeah. I have to stay clean, because I have to heal myself. But a lot of good things are happening. I'm affecting a lot of people's lives. I have some high power coaches who I've met that work with me for free. They're like, Chris, you are poised to go to the moon, and I want to be part of this, and I want to help you. So I have some really powerful people that are working with me to really create a brand and a platform that is impactful. Because my dream is to be mic'd up in front of a sea of people, helping them heal. Helping them heal, helping them look at what's going on and know that they're not alone. And so that's what I'm working on every single day. I have a couple books that I'm working on. It takes a while. It takes a while because of the brain fog and because of everything. Life, getting in the way. Earlier today, I had a call with this woman who's I told you about her. She's a very successful entrepreneur. She hosts retreats in Bali, lives in Portugal. She's got it down. Yeah, right? And we had a talk, and she goes, wow, your energy. She said, I want to introduce you to someone. And she put me on a thread with the guy who taught Tony Robbins how to speak. And a lot of NFL players and Dwayne Wade and Emmitt Smith and all these people. I was just emailing with him before I came over here. And he's really expensive. I'm hoping he sees something in me where he works something out.
He will. But, oh my God, how excited.
Yeah.
How freaking cool.
Yeah. So we'll see. I know, like you, I know my goal. I know my purpose. I wake to it every day. I sleep to it. I grind for it every day. I know my power. I know it's not ego. I know it's from passion.
It is passion.
Yeah. And so I'm just working every day on going to the moon and being on that stage,
We have to first talk about the parasite. Do you feel better? What's your food protocol? I know nothing about this. I
didn't either.
Yeah.
I didn't either. Most people have them. If you've ever eaten sushi.
It's probably because of the raw fish. Okay.
Yeah. It depends on the degree. Mine were knocking me out. They still do sometimes. I still get some fatigue.
You have to flush them out, right? You literally
you kill them.
Oh, you kill them.
Yeah, you take the supplements.
Okay.
Colette.
Yes.
She introduced me to this woman who's a doctor on the West Coast, and she focused on parasites. So I got this paracleanse thing, this whole process, and went through it, and it helped. But because my bacteria in my gut is so off in other ways, I have to still go through this entire process to clean that up as well. So it's heavy and it's scary. It's years ago they didn't have all the crap in the food that they have now. And it's mostly in America. We kill ourselves. The companies are so greedy that they put all this crap in the food. So we have to be very, very mindful of what we put in. So now I'm gonna have to quit coffee. I'm gonna have to quit all the things that I gravitate towards because it has to be extreme. It's not gonna be easy, and a lot of people suffer from it. A lot of people just accept it and live with it, but it's too much from somebody who's got vibrant and used to being challenged.
Does it make you feel worse? Totally, it makes I've heard you get really fatigued when you're on the cleanse.
When you're going through the cleanse.
Yeah.
See, I didn't have a lot to compare it to except because I've been fatigued and exhausted, on and off anyways. So I would have there were periods where up and down where I had no energy, but. Again, it's the rest of it too. It's a big process. Yeah. It's a heavy process.
I remember we were talking about this in speaker school when we go through this test. Even before this thing is when bad things are happening, is that transformation. And I think about this all the time. Even when I was going through with a guy or the accident I had, is I'm reacting to things way differently than in the past.
Look at that.
It is when I see I see growth in myself. It's because. Yeah. Even it's so funny because I was in a toxic relationship 5 years ago when I was what, I can't do this anymore because it got so bad. And then I was begging, I was you're pleading, you're negotiating with this guy, look at my worth, look at what I have to offer. I'm I was on my knees and with this guy I was I'm out. And there was no begging. I was I actually don't really
love that for you.
It was so interesting because I would have begged. I would have begged 5 years ago. I would have been no, I am worthy. I do have so much love in this world. I do look at me. And with this guy, I was you don't see it. I guess that's it. And I am.
Man, that's powerful. Good for you.
And that's when I feel so validated in my own growth. It is happening. We don't really see it because what is a measure of growth? I don't know. Like there's no how do we measure?
Feel it, yeah.
Yeah, you feel like, oh, I actually am no longer attached to people in that way that I need you to validate me.
Yeah.
Because it's an energy. Like it is an energy. And I feel like people who are spiritual, we have this energy that's so different than what's out there. And it was so funny with this guy. From the beginning, I always had this anxiety when I was talking to him because I knew he didn't get it. Like I would just be like so like free and free spirit and be like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. He'd be like, he would be like, hold on, like what's the plan? Fucking asked me my 5-year plan. I was like, dude, I don't even know what I'm doing next month. Like you want me to know, you want me to know what I'm doing when I'm 31? Like, God, I don't fucking know. Like, no. I was like, this is
see, that's why did you say, what are you doing right now? Like, what do you want to do? Like, just hang out. Why you gotta get, unless you're married and you're planning a business together? I'm like, what do you mean my 5-year plan?
It was so. And
who are you again?
But I do I think that's what dating is right now. When I look at whatever is happening, it's like people don't want to waste their time. Like it's first date. It's like, do you want to have kids? How much money is in your bank account? Like people are so not in it to have fun and like, hey, we're in this experience for each other and let's see where this goes. They're like, no. So.
We've created too many options.
Yeah.
We've created too many options. It's too easy to move on to the next thing. But you go back to your self-worth. How many people are you going to give yourself to? How thin are you going to spread yourself? Are you going to commit to this person is interesting. I wonder if we can, you can't find that out in the first week. You can't find that. You grow together through communication.
100%.
That's the problem. And you talk about people's worth when you can just kind of bounce around and do whatever. The problem is years pass by and you're like, wait, what did I do? What did I do? What did I get from that? Did I grow at all, or did I just, when you really know what you're worth, you don't let people in. You don't, you can see right away too. I mean, you made the decision and I had to feel great. I had to feel, wait, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm okay. Nothing bad happened. I stuck up for myself.
The way I look at it, it's like it's all a lesson. That's how I even went into this. I'm like, I'm just gonna go in and learn more about myself. I'm just gonna go and see what triggers me, because I was like, that is what my life has become right now, is just like constant learning. Because I feel like we don't look at those triggers enough. Like people saying stuff to me, I was like constantly writing, and I would go to my therapist like, this pissed me off. Can we talk about it? And it's all about like, what am I doing in my life, money, and all these things that I like would not face. I'd be like, I'm just gonna forget about it. I'm just gonna like hang out with people who never ask me about these questions. Until you're like, you know what? What would happen if I actually just felt that like pain? Nothing really happens. Like the pain that we actually feel is not that big of a deal.
We're more worried about it than the worry affects us more than the pain.
Yeah, the pain.
Yeah.
Like if I really look into myself about, okay, what am I gonna do with my life? That's not that painful to look at. I'm like, okay, I feel a little like maybe I made some wrong decisions. Okay, I feel a little guilty about them. Ooh, and then you're like, okay, like I feel better.
I used to, when I was going through a lot of realizations, I realized things that came to me was there were patterns in my life that you could feel coming up.
Yeah.
And what I did, instead of allow myself to be repelled or braced for them, I would turn and lean into them. You start a new relationship and there's something that they say to you that you go, oh, wait, this feels like something else I've been through. Or they start telling you stories that don't align with you and you're like, oh, well, this isn't going to work because we don't see things the same way. And when you lean into that, like you said, it doesn't hurt as much. It's like, wait a second, why can't I just be? I'll just be. And when you can, then you really get quality out of whatever scenario it is. And then you're open to communication. You're open to talk about things, or not. You realize that the things that you maybe collected along the way don't have as much power or effect as you thought they did.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt. Wait a second. I mean, I can just live in the now, and I can allow myself to have fun with this person, to enjoy them, to be physically present, to I guess scan them and see the whole situation and realize what a blessing it is, what a gift it is now that I'm spending this time with you and the world is shut down because we're completely captive to each other. Yeah. That means so much more.
Yeah.
You know?
It was incredible also because I got into like breathing. And I know we have to talk about meditation and breathing with you because that's why this course, I was like, I just started breathing through all the problems. I would just think about, like, where does it feel in my body? What am I going through? And just start journaling it, writing it all out. I'm like, and I feel like so much has happened since, I mean, it's only been like 2-3 weeks. So much clarity came out of this because I like leaned back into myself. And I think in the past relationship, I was like, my nervous system was so out of whack that I was like begging for that other person to make me feel safe because I didn't feel safe in my own body. And I was like, okay, well, I the only person I have is myself. I can't keep asking you to like make me feel okay, like I'm worthy. Like something like you might find someone else, you might have other friends. I can't have that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, why am I constantly like leaving myself behind? Like, why am I abandoning myself?
Yeah.
And when I went into that, I'm like, okay, like, we're okay. And it teaches me because I know in the next situation I go, I'm like, oh, I have this muscle memory of the fact that I just like was fine afterwards. Like this whole thing I'm teaching myself, like, hey, the work we do right now, the next situation we get, if I fall in love with somebody else and it doesn't work out, I'm going to be okay because I have this memory of like, I was okay.
Yes.
I just went into myself.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, let's do this. I'm not alone. I have so many amazing people. I have so many these connections. Like I have a belonging. I have a community. And let me lead to the people who actually see me for who I am.
Yeah.
Why am I trying to prove myself to someone who's never going to understand me? Even if I was like, look at all this money I made, he's going to be like, hey, like, I don't know what you're doing. This doesn't make any sense to me. I'm out.
You were right. You were right there because you're right. He's not ready. Maybe he would be down the road, but he's not now. And that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you would at some point, but I don't have time to wait for that, right? So the money and success should, when you're in a relationship anyway, should be secondary. This should be everything. I see you. You see me above and beyond everything else, right? So I have a couple of stories about meditation because it's relatively new to me as well in the last 4 or 5 years. I talked about that little person inside of us, right? For me, it was Krishna O. Right? Have I told you this? My name was Krishna when I was born.
You did not tell me this. What?
My mom was a hippie, and she named me Krishna, the Hindu deity.
Yes.
My name was Krishna. I didn't have a last name because she had me on her own.
Yeah.
My name was Krishna O. The O was for infinity, for perfection, no beginning, no ending. That was my birth name. That's how I started this life. So some of it starts to make sense, right? That was my name for the first couple years in my life until she met my stepdad who adopted me, and his last name was Rushing, and I became Chris Michael Rushing.
Oh my God! Wow.
I have a little picture of myself that I had framed and I carry with me. It's very creative. It's just black and white, and I'm like this. You can only see half of my face, and I'm like 4 or 5, and it's a very powerful photo, and it's been with me my whole life, and it's haunted me. It always haunted me because a lot of time, men especially, we have this little boy inside of us that all the decisions we make, we feel like we let that little boy down, and it haunts us. It haunts us. It doesn't allow us to grow. We failed. We let the little version of ourselves down. And we feel that way because there's no guidebooks. We didn't know what we were doing. We did the best that we could. We don't see it like that. We're haunted. I went out to Todd's Point and I was on my bike and I put some headphones in with some transcendental meditation music, and I locked in. The sun was going down a little bit and the waves were going like this. And I locked in with the rhythm of the waves, and something crazy happened. Little Krishna O came out of the water, came to my arms. I brought a mat with me because it was all rocky. And I laid down with him and I held him. And we cried. And he was safe for the first time. And we connected and we became one. There wasn't a little version of me, an adult version of me. There was me. And little me was now okay because big me took care of him. And it was powerful. It was powerful. I wasn't haunted anymore, you know? And men don't do that a lot of times. We're haunted by that. Like we're supposed to know everything. How could you possibly, you know? I have another story about meditation. I'm going to tell you about breathing in a second. I had an uncle who was just a really cool guy. He part of my family judged me because I was more brown than them, you know, because I'm half Puerto Rican and I didn't grow up on that side. I grew up with my mom's side, and then my stepdad for a while. And a lot of people I could tell, like they judge me, and I didn't quite fit in. Well, this guy never did. Uncle Larry never judged me. He was just a great dude. He was a little guy, but he was a stud. He was an All-American football player, played at a private college, and he was a coach, and he ran every day. And as I sat at his funeral, and so many people came up and talked about the impact he had on their life, I didn't sit with my family. I sat by myself so I could take it all in. I was so affected by it that I wanted to reach out to him and tell him thank you for always accepting me, making me feel like I was a part of the family. And so I went into this meditation. I just started breathing. I shut down, and I went in, and I saw him. I reached him, and he was healthy, and he was himself. He wasn't he didn't have dementia like when he died. He was happy, and he was the energy of the younger version of himself. Then I saw my grandparents, who both died of emphysema and alcoholism, but they looked the same, but they were healthy versions of themselves. And it was very peaceful. I was very happy. And then something crazy happened. I saw these long blades of grass and this brown skin moving behind it. And I looked deeper, and I said, oh my God, these are my Puerto Rican ancestors that I never met. And then I heard a sound, and it sounded like this. And then it got closer, and it got more. I could understand a little bit more. And what they were saying was, go, because it was my time. And we're not here by ourselves. We have a long line of ancestors that are holding us up. It's our time. That is the power of meditation, right? I never would have, had I not gone in there, I never would have had this experience. They were saying, go. It's your time. You break the cycle of dysfunction. You make a name for yourself. You make a name for the family. You create a legacy for your daughters. Go.
Your subconscious is so loud.
I know.
You're tapped in.
That's it. That's why all of this makes sense for me. I'm not doing this so people can say, oh, Chris Michael Rushing, he's so cool.
You're so tapped in.
It's not ego. This is my purpose, which is why I know why I've gone through everything I've gone through. If you go in, you're not here for just some random reason either. You have a long line of ancestors that are holding you up, supporting you as well. We all do. Most of the time we go through life never tapping into that, thinking we're all by ourselves. That's not the case. We have a lineage. We have a bloodline. That's not something you just talk about. That's something for real. This is why it's important. We were talking earlier about, I kind of get meditation. I kind of don't. Go in. Here's what you do. If you can imagine this, a lot of people, I can't do it. I can't shut my mind down. Shut the fuck up. Shut your mind down. You breathe. You create a tunnel. And that's where your focus is. The world is out here. You create a tunnel. You go in there and you shut out the noise. All of this madness, all of the war and the social media and the hate and the division, all that nonsense, you shut that down. You go down the middle. This is where you belong. You go down the middle. That's there, but not right now. It's not. You go in and you breathe. The power happens in between breaths. Right there. That's where the clarity is, right there. And you open up and you feel your body. You open up your lungs. You can feel everything in your body. And then you exhale. And when you exhale fear. You exhale anxiety, depression, the self-loathing, the self-disrespect. You exhale that shit and you get it out. And then when you inhale, it's brand new. And look at that power. Your chest is open. Your lungs are open. You own that space you're in right there. It's a decision, right? And it's not wishy-washy. Although life is a symphony and you should move through it like that, you also can summon that power whenever you want to. You go in. When I was in that situation where somebody created a story about me and I found myself on my own, I had an air mattress in my apartment. I couldn't see my girls because I was forbidden to because of the situation. I was still blaming that person a little bit, and someone taught me box breathing. Box breathing is what the Navy SEALs do before they go on a mission. When they come back, a lot of special forces people do them. A lot of CEOs and stuff do that just to get clarity. And all you do is you inhale for 4. You hold it for 4, where the magic happens, right? You exhale for 4. And you hold it for 4. Your entire nervous system starts to get regulated. And you start to feel powerful and you start to feel clear. That is what helped me get through this situation where eventually this scenario was thrown out, and I proved that, what was created about me was a lie, and I was able to start moving on with my life. That's what helped me move forward into more meditation, into more breath work, and now every single morning I have a routine that sets my perspective and sets a precedent for the day. Why? Like I was saying, I don't have a bad day anymore. I never do, because I'm in control of it. I don't just I don't get up and just run into the madness of the world.
It's like going back into yourself. And I actually started through this whole thing when I was like, I need to figure clarity out. I started journaling, meditating, and then reading all at this, like back to back to back, before I even talk to anybody. Because what happens is, and I'm sure you feel the same way, at least I feel people's energy, the negativity, and that burns me out so quickly because we're empaths. We feel other people.
Yeah.
And that's why we do the work we do. It's like, no, I need to go back to myself. Especially when I wake up, I'm like, oh my God, so much is happening. I'm like, okay, what's the truth in this? Let's talk. And I just talk to myself. Before I start telling other people my shit, and then people give me their advice, people tell me all this, I'm like, no. And then I breathe through it. Because it's like, unless I breathe through it, like what you said, we're carrying it until we let it go. And then I could be like, oh my God, I'm okay. Then I read something that's like really positive right now. I'm reading The Mountain Is You. And I'm like, okay.
What's that?
It's all about like self-sabotage and
The mountain is you.
The mountain is you. And then realizing that a lot of our inner conflict is just our inner conflict. It's just we are making it up.
Yeah.
No one is creating it for us.
Yeah.
And I'll read it. I'm like, okay, like then I can set my day for whatever to do. Because before I was just letting people dictate, like, oh, you should do this, you should do that. People love when you don't know, like, especially when I was like, I'm stuck, I don't know what I'm doing. People love to give advice.
They love to.
People be like, let me fix you up real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be your solution. I'm like, I don't fucking know what you want for me.
Well, that's the thing too. Like you said, like, that's when confusion comes. That's when the nonsense comes. One of the best things I ever read was talk less and say more. Talk less, say more. Observe, sit back. And it's also with healing. When people start the journey with healing, instead of sitting there and healing, they want to tell everybody that they're healing, and they want to drop this new terminology that they've heard. Safe space, blah 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 blah. Stop talking. Heal. Allow yourself to heal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we allow people, hell yeah, they'll give us their advice because they're lost as well, and it makes them feel empowered to do that. Sometimes they are further evolved. I have a coaching student who he's a little older than me, and he's going through the throes of addiction, and he's had a really bad relationship, and he's second guessing his own worth from it. And he was older than me. And he tells me, he's like, Chris, I love the way you speak because I feel like you're very similar to me, but you're just a few buses ahead. Yeah, man, that's all it is. That's all it is. So when you can find someone who's a few buses ahead and they're giving you some advice, a lot of times they won't just throw it at you. They're gonna listen to you and say, okay, I might have gone through that as well, and this is what I found. And then it's valuable.
It's so valuable. And I actually, like, the people I look up to is, like, when you're saying, like, oh, retreats in, like, Bali, or, like, doing the life I want, you can give me advice. Tell me how you're doing a fucking retreat in Bali. Tell me. I need the whole thing.
But you got to be careful, because here's the thing, too, I've found. The whole healing game is very trendy. It's very trendy. Yeah. A lot of people know the terminology. Yeah. But they're still like, they're not really. They're not really.
It's so aesthetic. No, meditation is so aesthetic. Breathing is so aesthetic.
It's so trendy.
Retreats are like millions of dollars now.
Yes, it shouldn't be. Yeah. That's not what it should be. Yeah. Because that's not true healing, right? It should be offered anywhere. It should just be, people, you want to heal, you want to give back? Yes. I strive to be more. Of course, I have to be able to take care of my daughters and provide a good life for them, but I want to be at a place where I can just say to anyone, come be a part of this. Come be a part of this. know?
Absolutely.
Giving back like that so that they can in turn share and give back. You know, that's how you heal the world. I sit here as a dad and the world is crazy and I brought these two little ones into it. I can't sit back and wait for someone else to change that, right? I have to stand up and go, no, this is what I know to be right and wrong. This is our moral code. This is our, you know, this is what integrity looks like. We aren't that different. All of this division and pain that they're spreading is so that they can get away with stuff. These people who we put our faith into for some reason we would never have at our own houses. You're not coming over to my barbecue.
Yeah.
We can't stand you know? But yet you're making decisions for us?
Yeah.
No. So the only way we can combat that without falling for all the nonsense and division that they're giving is to say, no, I don't believe that. People are people, and love is the only thing that really matters. 100%. And so going into the world like that, and so seeing clearly, breathing, meditation, journaling, working on yourself, loving people one person at a time once you love yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? 100%. That's what we need.
I realized with myself where my ambition is not money. And I always thought I had to be, and it's so ridiculous because
Simplify, man. Simple.
It has to be purposeful and it has to be through compassion. That's the only thing that drives, like, even this podcast, I've never worked so hard for anything in my life that like this. Like, it's college, I never worked hard, but like if it's like purposeful and I feel love and I feel compassion, I will do this the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Even if it burns me.
I hope this blows up and you do it the rest of your life and you reach millions of people.
But you're the same exact way because it's all love. And we're in like the entrepreneurship world, and this is what pisses me so much about it. We're in the entrepreneurship world, we're in the business world, and everyone's talking about money. Everyone's throwing dollar signs. This is how you're going to make so much money on business. That does not drive me. Not a single part of that drives me. Not a single part of that is interesting to me. Not a single part is that inspiring me. It doesn't. But when you tell me, you're like, oh my God, you're gonna reach so many people. It's your heart. You're actually gonna help people feel better about themselves. And I'm fucking working hard to do that.
Yeah.
That drives me. That inspires me. Yeah. Let's do this. Let me figure out how to send the message out to more people. It is so different, and then I feel like I was sucked into a different world before, and now there's so much clarity that like it is the space. It is the meditation. It is going within ourselves, not asking people for advice constantly. We already have it in ourselves.
We have. Part of the thing with like my coaching as well, I stand in front of these mega mansions in Greenwich with my clients. And yeah, you've used your skills or you've used your family skills, their money, whatever, to create this legacy. And now you're standing in front of this huge house questioning your mortality. Wait, isn't there more? Isn't there more to life? And I've met several people where they come to me and they're like, wow, you're how old? You're 54 years old and you're in this kind of shape and you're this happy and you're this focused. And I go, yeah. You've been sold, the wrong bill of health, the wrong bill of sale here. I stand in front of this mansion. I go, you know what? None of this matters if you're dead. None of this matters if you're dead. So why don't we take those skills that you use to create this legacy of yours, where you're going to be dead in 10 years, and what was it all for? To create the life that is really fulfilling. So I got these big tough guys, CEO guys that are going, wait, I never thought I'd do this. I'm like, let's go. We're meditating in front of the sun. We're flowing with movement. Incredible. And we're breathing and everything is changing. Now they're clear. Now they want to give back. Now they want to be healthy and set those types of goals, And that's really what matters. I've done posts on this because there's a thing that I've created where, because I've been in this business, everyone always getting ready to get ready. Oh, now Monday I'm going to start. Next Monday. I didn't get the right food. I don't have the right tennis shoes. Or I don't have the right sneakers. And so a lot of times I have 15-year-old Vans that have rips in them, and a lot of times I work out in them just to remind myself what it's for, where I came from, and what matters. And no, it's not money. Yes, I will want to take care of my family and give them a good life, but I don't care. I will wear black t-shirts, black pants, black sneakers for the rest of my life, because too many times I see someone who's in their 80s or 90s ready to die, and they might still be draped in labels, and they're miserable. What was it all for? What was it all for? You didn't figure anything out, did you, in this great gift of life? And that's the biggest tragedy. Yeah. That's the biggest tragedy.
I feel like it's just a chasing the money. And I feel like it's more I think it's more men than women. I feel like men do this a lot when it comes to money because like if I
We
have
measure our success that way.
Exactly. And it was so crazy how the situation, he told me how much he made. So the whole thing was about money. And he was like, I make this much money. I'm like, that is pathetic. That you like, I literally was like,
That's who you leave with.
like I was like, I was like, what the fuck did I just hear? Like, okay, you make this much money. You think that's all you're worth? That is, you think like my worth is this much? Like that is fucking pathetic to me.
Take that away, who are you? You know, the world explodes. Now, who are you? You know, can you survive in the wilderness? Can you still take care of your family now? Can you take care of yourself now? Do you feel any empathy? Do you feel any sympathy? Or are you just a lost person? Take that away. Mm-hmm. Take the labels, take the cars, take the houses, take the money away. Who are you? You know, and that's what we should ask ourselves all the time anyway. Who am I? Yeah. Who am I? Yeah. If you can answer that, whew, and sometimes you can't because you're always evolving. Who am I right now? Well, I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. I have good intentions. I'm a good person. You know, I want the best. I want the best for people. Yeah. You know, that's what matters. Yeah.
And for me, it's like leading every decision that it's always hard. It's always been hard. Yeah. Like I have to do that. Like once my brain's talking, I'm like, that's not right for me. Because
you're allowing yourself to feel.
Once there's logic, this is the route, the most. Like no. What's the heart?
Just feel. Right. Allow yourself to feel. Know that that's the most sincere moment. You're feeling. You're feeling. Oh my God! Look at this. Look at the pattern of the clouds. Look how beautiful that orange is in the sun. The way the rain feels on my face. I have another day that I can get up with the sun and see the beautiful trees. I'm connected with nature. You ever feel the pulse of a tree? We're connected with nature. Life is such a gift every day. There are people that weren't here yesterday that wish they were. We've been chosen. I have friends that I used to party with. We were young men together. You know, I always thought we'd be grandfathers sitting in a rocking chair looking down at our grandkids or great-grandkids, laughing about the times that we had. And over the last few years, I've lost a couple very close friends. And at one of the funerals, one of my boys said, man, I feel like we're the leftovers. And I said, no, man. I said, no. We're the storytellers. We keep them alive by telling their story. Mm-hmm. But there's a price. The price is we get to live. Mm-hmm. So with that gift, with that price, we can never take another day or another moment for granted. I did a men's talk where I told that story, and I said, now I will stop to feel the sun on my face, to feel the rain on my face. I'll close my eyes when I chew my food so I can taste it, because he can't, because they can't. I will run further when I run because I'm alive and I can. I'll lift heavier. I'll train longer. I will love harder because I've been chosen to be here longer, because I get the gift of life when they can't. So that's how we define our why. What is your why? If you get up every morning, you know your why. It's easy to appreciate this thing called life, this gift of life.
Yeah, it's incredible because I don't think a lot of people do that. Everyone's running. Everyone's running away.
We're affected. If we can shut out the fucking noise, shut out the noise, then you can know yourself. Then you can see what matters. Social media doesn't matter. The media doesn't matter. Government are a bunch of clowns. There's greed and nonsense and division and all this stuff and racism and hatred and blah, blah, blah. When we're really not like that at our core. When you shut out the noise, you just come down on a human level. There's only love. There's only love. So we get back to that.
This has been incredible.
We talked. A lot of fun.
I knew we would.
I did too.
This has been so good.
Yeah.
It's been so good.
Yeah.
It's been so good catching up with you.
I knew it would be. I was so excited about this.
I was like, this is about me. And it's so great because to close this up, it's like we talk about everything. That's what I love about you.
Yeah.
It's because it's like we just talk. And I don't have many people in my life that I can just be like, usually it's like, oh, this is what's happening in my life or this, whatever. But it's like, we just talk.
I know. That's why I'm saying there's nothing that's random. There's nothing that's random. You and I knowing each other, you and I meeting each other wasn't random whatsoever. And I told you I've cared about you since the day I told you this. I've texted you and I said I'm proud of you and I really, I feel this. I feel blessed to have this connection with you.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way because I remember us talking, and the first day I met you, I was like, he's incredible. I'm like, who is this guy? Because it was so real. I feel like it's always been that way because I was like, we'll catch up and we'll just share what's been going on. And I've got to learn about you even more this year because I feel like we want to do stuff together or whatever. And it's just like, it's just so nice just to, what I said, peel off the layers and understand someone better from the root core.
I agree.
And that's why I need this episode. It's going to be so good. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, tune in next time. Thank you.